Hey everyone, and welcome to another epic Sunday. It is so good to have you all join us once again. Now, today we are doing another recap Sunday, and we're going through our series called Moving Mountains, which was our series all about faith. So I want you to start racking your brain to see if you can remember what we learned. But before we get into that, we're gonna play a really fun game. So I need you all to stand to your feet, find some space, so you can't knock a friend out the way, okay? And we're gonna play a game called This or That, okay? So what I'm gonna basically do is give you two options, this or that, okay? And you have to pick which one you like and then go to the side of the room which represents that object. So, for example, I might say, do you prefer Coke or Fanta? If you prefer Coke, then you're gonna run to that side of the room. If you prefer Fanta, you're gonna run to that side of the room. And we're gonna see which object is more popular, okay? And it's quite a cool time to get to know your friends a bit better, okay? Are you ready? Are you steady? Let's go. So, do you prefer bubbly chocolate or a bar one? Go. Okay, pretty cool. You there? You there? Okay, next one. Are you a fan of Superman or Batman? Go. You running? You running? Good. Okay, do you prefer lasagna or pizza? Yeah? You there? Good, these are tough ones. Hey, I want to be in the middle. I want to pick both. Okay, this is a hard one. Do you like KFC or Nando's? Run. Pick your spot. Okay, we're going to do a few more. Do you like the beach or the berg? Run as fast as you can. Run. Okay, next one. This one's got to do with cars and vehicles. Are you ready? Okay, would you prefer a Lamborghini or a Land Rover? I wonder who you're gonna pick, what you're gonna pick. Okay, we've got one more to go. Okay, are you ready? Do you like Smarties or Jelly Tots? Now that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Run. Are you there? Okay, are you feeling warmed up? Because we're heading into winter and things are getting a bit chilly, so I thought we'd just get a bit warmed up for today. But while you're standing, you can stay standing because we're gonna go into a time of worship. So, are you ready? Let's go.
I will praise you, Lord, with all my heart. I will sing of your love. Nothing's gonna stop me, no, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm giving you all the praise. Because your love is better than anything. Your love has given me life, Jesus. Your love is all I've ever needed. Yeah. Whoa, I worship you, my King. The love that you give is making me sing. Whoa, I worship you, my King. The love that you give is making me spin around. Ooh, yeah. Spin around. Ooh, yeah. Jump up and down. Ooh, yeah. Spin around. Ooh, yeah. We're jumping up and down. Ooh, yeah. Spin around. Ooh, yeah. Jump up and down. Ooh, yeah. Spin around. Ooh, yeah. Jump up and down. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. I will praise you, Lord, with all my heart. I will sing of your love. Nothing's gonna stop me, no, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm giving you all the praise. Because your love is better than anything. Your love has given me life, Jesus. Your love is all I've ever needed. Yeah. Whoa, I worship you, my King. The love that you give is making me say, whoa, I worship you, my King. The love that you give is making me spin around. Ooh, yeah. Spin, spin around. Ooh, yeah. Jump up and down. Ooh, yeah. Spin, spin around. Ooh, yeah. Whoa, I worship you, my King. The love that you give is making me say, whoa, I worship you, my King. The love that you give is making me spin around. Ooh, yeah. Spin, spin around. Ooh, yeah. Jump up and down. Ooh, yeah. Spin, spin around. Ooh, yeah. We're jumping up and down. Spin, spin around. We're jumping up and down. Spin, spin around. We're jumping up and down. I worship you, my King. The love that you give is making me sing.
Deep, deep, deep down, 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 Jesus in my heart. Deep, deep, deep down, 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 Jesus in my heart. Deep, deep, deep down, 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 Jesus in my heart. You love me from the start. Deep, deep, deep down, 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 Jesus in my heart. Deep, deep, deep down, 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 Jesus in my heart. Deep, deep, deep down, 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 Jesus in my heart. You love me from the start. Every day, every day, every day I love you, Jesus. Every day, every day, every day I live for you, Jesus. Every day, every day, every day I love you, Jesus. Every day, every day, every day I live for you, Jesus. Every day, every day I love you, Jesus. Big, 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 strong, 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 biggest, strongest God. Big, 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 strong, 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 biggest, strongest God. Big, 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 strong, 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 biggest, strongest God. You love me from the start. Big, 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 strong, 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 biggest, strongest God. Big, 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 strong, 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 biggest, strongest God. Big, 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 strong, 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 biggest, strongest God. You love me from the start. Every day, every day, every day I love you, Jesus. Every day, every day, every day I live for you, Jesus. Every day, every day, every day I love you, Jesus. Every day, every day, every day I live for you, Jesus. Every day, every day I love you, Jesus. I L-O-V-E 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 you, Jesus. Every day, every day, every day I love you, Jesus. Every day, every day, every day I live for you, Jesus. Every day, every day, every day I love you, Jesus. Every day, Jesus. I love you, Jesus.
Alrighty, so like I mentioned earlier, we are doing a recap today of our Moving Mountain series, which is all about faith. Now, I hope and I trust that you have been living your lives by faith and not by sight, and moving mountains every single day in whichever way that might be. So, it is time to see how much you remember. So, I'm going to give you a clue, okay? A picture will pop up on the screen behind me, and I want you to try and guess and think what we learned about that week. So, week 1, we have a picture of a motorbike. We had Ed and Kayla riding their motorbikes, doing some crazy things, and it was really, really fun, okay? Any ideas? Any thoughts? Okay, you thinking? You thinking? Cool. So, week 1, we see God ask Abraham to do a crazy thing, okay? We see God asking Abraham to leave his homeland, to leave everything that he knew and was familiar with, to go to a place that God would show him only once he left. And you see, through this story, we learned that faith is stepping out of our comfort zones. Now, I want to ask you guys, have you had to step out of your comfort zone in some way since our faith series? And how did that feel? Well, how about we take a look at a quick reminder as to how our story of Abraham began.
The Lord said to Abraham,
"Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed."
So Abraham departed as the Lord had instructed, and Lot went with him. Abraham was 75 years old when he left Haran. He took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all his wealth, his livestock, and all the people he had taken into his household at Haran, and headed for the land of Canaan. When they arrived in Canaan, Abraham traveled through the land as far as Shechem. There he set up camp beside the oak of Moreh. At that time, the area was inhabited by Canaanites. Then the Lord appeared to Abraham and said,
"To your offspring I will give this land."
And Abraham built an altar there and dedicated it to the Lord, who had appeared to him. After that, Abraham traveled south and set up camp in the hill country, with Bethel to the west and Ai to the east. There he built another altar and dedicated it to the Lord, and he worshipped the Lord. Then Abraham continued traveling south by stages towards Negev.
Alrighty, week 2, your clue is an oar, okay? And an oar is used on a canoe to go paddling. And this week we saw Grant and Chunky going down the rapids of the doozy, and we saw how Grant had to save Chunky's life and keep him afloat in the doozy because Chunky was, well, let's just say, struggling just a little bit, okay? Any ideas what we learned about this week? Any ideas? Okay, so hopefully you got it. But week 2 looked at the story of Abraham rescuing his nephew Lot. Remember, Lot went and moved to the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, okay? And through a whole series of events, okay, he is taken captive by some soldiers, but we see how Abraham doesn't just let it happen, but he goes in there and rescues Lot. And we learn through this story that we need to have the faith to fight for our friends, that we need to fight for our friends that have gone off course or lost their way a bit. And it's up to us as children of God to point our friends to Jesus no matter the cost. And it's not always easy, but it's what we're called to do. And so I want to ask, have any of you out there had to, go through something like this where you've seen a friend go off course and you've had to point them to Jesus? Well, it's not easy, but well done if you're doing that. All right, let's take a quick reminder and a quick look at our story of week 2 of our series, Moving Mountains.
After some time, Abraham became very wealthy in livestock and in silver and gold, and Lot his nephew, who was moving about with him, also had many flocks and herds and tents. The land was not big enough for them both and all their possessions. Also, there was strife between the herdsmen of Abraham's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. Abraham and Lot decided that they would part ways. Lot chose to move to the plains of Jordan, and Abraham lived in the land of Canaan. Lot pitched his tents near the cities Sodom and Gomorrah. Although the land was very good, the people of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. Initially, Lot lived just outside of these cities, but after some time he ended up living inside the city amidst all this evil every day. Some years later, there was much war between the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah and the surrounding kings. In the midst of all the war and chaos, Lot and his possessions were also carried away. When news got to Abraham, he got 318 of his trained men together to go in search of Lot. After the men defeated the armies who took Lot, Abraham recovered all Lot's possessions and brought Lot back.
It's been a long time since a lot of our friends have come back to church. So they do Uptown at home in their lounge, which is quite nice, but it's like Chunky playing in the mud all by himself. It's far more fun for Chunky to get in a boat with me and come down a big rapid, and it is far more fun for your friends to come with you to go to Uptown. So if you're a good friend and if you want the best for your friends, don't leave them at home watching Uptown all by themselves. Invite them to come with you.
Okay, so quick recap of the past 2 weeks. Week 1 is having the faith to step out of our comfort zones. Week 2 is having the faith to fight for our friends. Week 3, your clue is a fishing rod. Okay, we saw John and the guys going fishing, and we saw how the guys try to make their own plans instead of listening to John and fishing how you should fish. Okay, so week 3 looks at the lesson that faith is trusting in the plans and promises of God and not trying to make our own plans. So who can remember what plan Abraham and Sarah tried to make for themselves instead of trusting in God's promise? Got it? Ringing some bells? Well, let's take a look at this video and see if you're right.
Sarai, Abraham's wife, still had not fallen pregnant, and she knew how important it was that they have a son of their own. She was getting old, and so decided to make her own plan. She went to her husband Abraham and said,
Abraham, we are getting very old, and I was just thinking, why don't we try and have a child through our servant Hagar?
You are right. We are getting old and running out of time.
When Hagar fell pregnant, she began to treat Sarai badly. This in turn led to Sarai treating Hagar badly, and Hagar ended up running away. An angel of God found her and asked her what she was doing. He then told her to go back to her mistress Sarai and put up with whatever she had to, and that God would give her a big family in return. And so Hagar went back to Sarai and had the baby boy. Abram, who was now 86 years old, named his son Ishmael.
I will make you fruitful. I will make nations out of you, and kings will come from you. This will be an everlasting covenant between me and you, to be your God, and the God of all your descendants. As for Sarai, her name will be Sarah. I will bless her with a son, and she will be the mother of many nations.
But God, we're too old. We cannot have any children.
Your wife Sarah will have a son, and you will call him Isaac.
So, I guess the moral of the story is that there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. It doesn't matter if you want to fish with dry horse, or you want to fish with singing, or you want to fish with a knife. Fish are meant to be caught with a fishing rod and with a lure. And so, it's something like in the Bible where actually, God had a plan, and he told Abraham that he's going to give him a son, and Abraham had to believe by faith. And instead what Abraham did is he tried to make his own solution, and he went and had a child with his wife's servant girl, which wasn't God's plan, and it ended in absolute disaster. Yet if Abraham had lived by faith, and he did live by faith later, then he got a son by his wife, and it fulfilled God's promise, and it's the way God made it. So we have to live by faith and not try and make our own plans. We have to trust God for his way of doing things.
Okay, and on to week 4, our final week in our Moving Mountains series. And your clue for this week is a surfboard. Thinking? Getting it? Okay, remember we saw Chunky and Ronan going surfing, and we saw how Chunky gave up his wetsuit so that Ronan wouldn't have to be cold. And we saw how Chunky made a sacrifice in order for his friend to have a really good experience while surfing. And so in week 4, we learned that faith requires sacrifice. Often faith would cost us, okay, in order to be obedient to God. And our story of Abraham in week 4 was all about that. And we saw Abraham go to extreme lengths of faith in order to be obedient to God. Can anyone think of what that story was? Think massive, massive sacrifice, but he obeyed regardless of the cost. Getting it? Anything? Okay, well, here is your reminder to see if you got that right.
After these things, God tested Abraham and said to him,
Abraham,
I am here.
take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you.
So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and his son Isaac. And he cut the wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went to the place for which God had told him. On the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place from afar. Then Abraham said to his young men,
Stay with the donkey. Me and the boys shall go and worship.
And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son, the fire and the knife. So they went together. And Isaac said to his father Abraham,
Dad, I see the wood and I see the fire, but where's the lamb for the sacrifice?
Don't worry, son. God shall provide.
So both of them went together. When they came to the place of which God had told him, Abraham built the altar there and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then Abraham reached out his hand and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said,
Abraham, Abraham,
I am here.
do not lay your hand on the boy, or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him was a ram caught in the thicket by his thorns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the name of that place, The Lord Will Provide, as it is said to this day, On the mount of the Lord it shall be provided. And the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said,
By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, because you have done this, and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply your offspring as the stars of the heavens, and as the sand that is on the seashore. And your offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies, and in your offspring shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice.
Why are you so cold? Thanks, man, for the wetsuit.
Oh, it's no problem. I was just glad to see you catch that Cloud9 at the back there.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that was super nice. Where you clipped off the top. You know, clip it, bro.
Hey guys, so we have one more video to show you before we end off our faith recap.
Hey guys, we're ending our series on faith with a big bang. I have a question for you. Have any of you guys skydived before? Well, I have, and I'm about to show you how it's done. Let's go. Hey guys, and that is what it is to have faith. I had to put so much faith in this parachute, and jumping out of that plane was so scary. But that's exactly what it means to have faith in God. It's trusting Him even when you don't know what's going to happen. So guys, keep going. Keep having faith in the Lord. I promise you, He'll never let you down. Let's go! Hey guys, did you notice anything strange about that video? Take another look. Did you notice anything? Another thing that was odd that you might have seen was the color of my parachute when I got onto the ground. Take a look. It was white, and in skydiving we say that there's actually no such thing as a white parachute, which means something went wrong with my skydive. When I jumped out of that plane, having faith in my main parachute to get me safely down to the ground and to open up properly, it didn't. And I had to make a decision in the air to cut that parachute away and pull my backup parachute, which is a reserve parachute. Now, we've been talking about having faith in God, and I just told you that we have to have faith in our parachutes, like we have to have faith in God. We have to trust in them that they will take care of us no matter what. But my first one didn't work, and so I had to have even more faith that my second one was going to work, because if it didn't, I would be meeting Jesus a lot sooner than I ever thought I would be. So guys, I want to encourage you, if I can have faith when it seems like I'm gonna die, if I can have faith in that reserve parachute and faith in the Lord that He will protect me no matter what, even when I'm falling 2,000 feet in the air and I don't know if my parachute's going to work, I can have faith in Jesus and in God in that circumstance. You can have faith in any situation.
Well guys, all I can say is that this series has been super challenging. It's not always easy to trust God and have faith in Him when the situation looks bleak. But the thing is, we have been called to have faith. And so my prayer is that you would continue to move mountains every single day in whichever way God is asking you to. Matthew 17 verse 20 says this: if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. Let's be people who put our trust fully and firmly in Jesus, because our God is bigger than any mountain we will ever face. And with that said, let's stand to our feet and let's go through our memory verse dance for the last time.
be comfortable. No one said we wouldn't fight for it. So we gotta trust in God's promises. Faith to trust that His word is true. Faith to trust Him in all that we do. Faith to trust Him and never let go. Trusting Him as we see our faith grow. So stand, let's stand on the promises of God. Stand, just stand, and say to that mountain, say to that mountain, stand, let's stand on the promises of God. Stand, just stand, and say to that mountain, say to that mountain, say to that mountain, move, 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 get out of my way. You gotta stand strong, stand tall, know what you're made for, gotta live by faith and not by sight. No, gotta stand strong, stand tall, know what you're made for. Move, 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 get out of my way. You gotta stand strong, stand tall, know what you're made for, gotta live by faith and not by sight. No, gotta stand strong, stand tall, know what you're made for. No one said it would be easy. No one said it would be comfortable. No one said we wouldn't fight for it. So we gotta trust in God's promises. Faith to trust that His word is true. Faith to trust Him in all that we do. Faith to trust Him and never let go. Trusting Him as we see our faith grow. So stand, let's stand on the promises of God. Stand, just stand, and say to that mountain, say to that mountain, stand, let's stand on the promises of God. Stand, just stand, and say to that mountain, say to that mountain, say to that mountain, move, 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 get out of my way. You gotta stand strong, stand tall, know what you're made for, gotta live by faith and not by sight. No, gotta stand strong, stand tall, know what you're made for. Move, 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 get out of my way. You gotta stand strong, stand tall, know what you're made for, gotta live by faith and not by sight. No, gotta stand strong, stand tall, know what you're made for. Move, 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 get out of my way.
If you've never taken that first step in your faith journey to commit your life to God, I'm going to pray a really simple prayer that you can repeat after me. The Bible tells us that if we confess our sins to one another, meaning if we tell a leader, a parent, or guardian what we've done wrong, and we believe that Jesus is the Son of God who died on the cross to save our sins, that we will be saved. Now, if that's you, I'm going to pray a really simple prayer, and you can repeat it after me, but most importantly, I hope that you believe this in your hearts. So let's close our eyes. Jesus, I know I am a sinner, and I know that you know what I have done wrong. I pray that you come into my life and that you save me for all that I have done wrong. I thank you for the wonderful example that you have given me. And I thank you that you love me. And I love you too. In Jesus' name, amen.
Well, guys, we have come to the end of our service for today, but let's just end off with one last final recap of our 4 weeks. Are you ready? If you can, say them with me. Okay, week 1, faith is stepping out of our comfort zones. Week 2, faith is fighting for our friends. Week 3, faith is trusting in the plans and promises of God and not trying to make our own plans. And finally, week 4 is the fact that faith often requires sacrifice. Well, guys, with that, have a great Sunday, and I will see you next week, same time, same place, for a brand new series through the book of Job. Get ready. We'll see you there.